Casey.
And I'm Corey.
We are the Wright Brothers. I'd like to welcome you to this edition of Tech Corner.
And in this edition, we're going to be exploring what we've come to call advanced text messaging.
Right, and that might sound like a little bit of an oxymoron since it's such a simple technology, as anybody who's used text messages know. But what you may not know is that this very simple technology can do some very advanced things if you know how to use text messaging. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Exactly. Text messaging is more than just talking with your friends and voting for David Cook on American Idol. So we've got a lot of great information. Let's dive in. Alright, well perhaps my favorite text tool is Google SMS. Basically a mini Google done through text message. Talk to us about it.
Okay, this is really simple. Basically, all you have to do is you text message the number 466-453. That's the number you dial. It's just Google spelled out on your dial pad, 466-453. When you dial that number, any text that you put into that text message, Google will try and interpret what you're sending it and return you an answer. So just like Google does on your home computer. So for instance, if I were to put as a text message movies and my zip code, it will return me all of the movie listings within my area. Now let's say that I want to get more specific and I put a specific movie like Indiana Jones in my zip code, it will return me the exact movie listings for Indiana Jones in my area on that day. So you can start to see there's a lot of functionality you can use this for. It's really interesting, but it's pretty sophisticated and it's very simple to use.
Exactly, and you can use it for a lot more than just movie times. You can get weather, you can get directions, you can use it as a phone book so you don't have to dial 411 and pay the 75 cents anymore. There's a lot that you can start to use this for. For a full list of how you can use all of this, simply visit google.com/SMS and they'll give you a full list of how you can start to use Google SMS. That's the first tool. Now the second tool is using your text message as basically an email address.
Yeah, and this is something I think a lot of people don't know, and it's sort of because the carriers don't want their customers to know this. They don't want a bunch of emails kicking around on their servers. But every single phone that has a text messaging ability has an email address already assigned to it. So for instance, my phone number 949-555-3377. Let's just say that's my number and I'm a singular customer. That means that if I wanted to send an email to that phone, all I would do is I would put 949-555-3377 at singularme.com. Anything I email to that address will end up as a text message on my phone. Now the server handles are a little different for each server. We'll have those listed at the end of this podcast. But this is really an interesting thing because it opens up a whole new world for you. Let's say I'm away for a week and I have some really important emails I'm going to receive, but I don't have a smartphone. Well, now this enables me to receive those emails on my hip. Or let's say there's an important party I'm going to this weekend and I want to have that invite, that evite info on my phone. Just forward that evite onto me and I have that information on my phone. Really sophisticated, cool stuff.
Exactly. Basically, you can turn a non-smartphone into a smartphone and start to receive emails. That's the second great tool. Now the third great tool that we want to share with you is basically using your text message as a sophisticated calendar system.
Yeah, and I think anybody who's used the calendar function that comes on phones that aren't smartphones, on just your everyday phones, has probably been pretty disappointed. They don't sync with your desktop calendar programs, and they're really hard to enter calendar programs into an events and receive updates on. So usually what you end up doing is you maintain your calendar on one of these Outlook or iCal or Google Calendar. But the problem with that is it's stuck on your computer. And when you're out in the field, how are you going to receive a reminder about that appointment when it's at your computer? So, well, what you can do is you can set it up to text message you an alert, say 30 minutes before your appointment that says, hey, this is where you're supposed to be, this is who you're meeting, and these are the event details. Now, in order to do this, it's a little different within each calendar program. Google Calendar, what you do, programs like Google Calendar, they have it written in right into the program. So you go into your settings and just turn on SMS updates, and you can set if you want them to come a half hour before your appointment, an hour before your appointment, or whatever. Or if you don't have Google Calendar or one of the ones that has it written into the program, all of the programs, even the ones that don't have SMS alerts, have the ability for email alerts. Now, using the step that we talked about in the last step, where you can turn your text message account into an email account, you can see how you could start to have those emailed messages text message right to your hip, and you can get those calendar updates.
Certainly. I think text messaging is one of those things that we've seen over the last couple of years has become very mainstream. It's become a larger and larger part of our lives, whether we wanted to or not, and it's going to continue to head that direction more and more. So the more familiar and comfortable we can become with text messaging and with all of its capabilities and functionality right now, the better off we're going to be for every day in the future. So hopefully we've been able to show you that you can start to use text message for more than just talking with your friends or getting information to somebody that you don't want to talk to on the phone. So hopefully we've given you a lot of great information today. We'd like to thank you for joining us on this edition of Tech Corner, and we'll see you next time.